So in this video, I want to share my top 5 resources for Shopify app developers. Those are some really helpful resources that helped me when I started out, and I still use them, of course. And yeah, I just want to go through that list. That list, you can find it on my website, l4webdesign.de. It's written in English, and you can just read along. I have all those links that I will show you here in this video right now as well. So just hop on there and read along, and the link to this website will be in the description below. And like always, please like and subscribe, and here we go. All right, so let's start with number 5, and that is the Shopify GitHub projects. And I put that on the list because I just like to go through some of their projects and just take a look at the way that they have structured their code, and how they made use of those Polaris components, how everything is structured. For example, when I started out and I just read the documentation, I didn't know that you would have to use a card like this, that a card would have a section that you could stack in something inside of a card, and you know that you could have a layout, and that you could have an annotated section, and so on and so on. And just all of those concepts, they became very clear to me as soon as I took a look at their GitHub projects. So that's why I took that resource here on my list, because I think that it's very helpful, especially for a new beginner, for new developers that just start out and that just came to Polaris, looked at the documentation, and it wasn't quite clear to them. So you can see a live example of how they would structure their code, and it's really clean. So you should always take a look at how they would do it, and then structure your code accordingly, just to make it as clean as possible, right? So yeah, that is my number 5. Let's go on to number 4. As number 4, I put on a YouTube channel that really helped me, and just kind of helped me in a way to shift my mindset in a way. Because before I started out, I just thought, all right, I will make just a Shopify app and that's it. But when I took a look at their videos, I found out that I'm not just building a Shopify app, I'm actually building a SaaS product. So I'm actually building a software as a service, but it's not a large SaaS like Shopify as a SaaS as well, but I'm building a micro SaaS. And that's kind of what I learned here. And those videos, they really helped me, and they also specialize on Shopify app development. They're kind of on the side of entrepreneurial. They're on the entrepreneurial side of Shopify app development, but as a developer, you also have to take a look at that side as well. You're not just coding and stuff, but you're becoming an entrepreneur kind of. So that's why this is also very helpful, and especially if you're thinking of an app that you want to build, they will also tell you how to validate your app idea, and how to come up with app ideas, and how to see if you have a good idea or not. And just as an example, I put that here, validating app ideas. So you can see if your app idea is any good or not. And I just really like the concept of this page. And it's not just that they're talking some random stuff and they don't know what they're talking about, but they're actually the creators of an app called Reconvert. And if you go to Shopify, to the App Store, you can see that they do have many reviews and even more installs. So they really know what they're talking about. So you should just take a look at their page, listen to what they have to say, because it's really interesting. Not from a development side, you can always read some documentation about coding and stuff, but you also have to take a look at the entrepreneurial side of app development. All right, so let's go on with point number 3. And I actually put the Polaris front-end framework in here on my list because Polaris it might not look this good. There are some frameworks out there that make your UI way better. For example, you can make way prettier UIs if you use Tailwind, or for example, if you build out your UI with Bootstrap as well, it might look a little bit more generic, but still it might even look better than Polaris. But what you have with Polaris is some completely fully functional components that you just have to fill in a little bit. You just have to fill in some code a little bit here and there, and the development time will be way shorter if you just use Polaris. And so that's why I recommend, if you're building Shopify apps, just use this Polaris front-end framework. It might look intimidating at first, and the documentation is not that good. It's not always that good, but still you should try to get used to it, especially if you're building embedded apps. Because if you're building embedded apps, your app will be inside of the Shopify admin, and if you use Polaris alongside with that, then your app will just look more integrated, and to the end user it will make more sense in a way that your app just looks this way. It will look like your app is fully integrated with Shopify, right? And just go through here, and you can just copy this, Command C, Command V into your project, and you will have this component completely ready for you, just waiting for you to put some function in there, and that's it. And if you would have to build this out with Tailwind, of course you could do this as well, and it might not even take that long, but still you would still have to do some configuration here and there. And if you just use this Polaris front-end framework, then all of the components are ready for you to be used, and that's that. And another advantage of using Polaris is the following, and that will lead to my point number 2 on my list, and that is that Shopify, they also have a Polaris UI kit for Figma. And in my opinion, that is a huge advantage. And I want to explain this to you as well. Because when you have an idea and you know what you want to do with your app, you know what you want to build, then you don't just want to start developing right away. You don't just want to start with a blank canvas and just develop and try something there and try something there. But what you want to do first is you want to design your layout first, and then you want to build out what the layout will look like. So first, you should you could start with a wireframe, but you could also just start laying out, or just start building your layout at first. And you can do that either with Adobe XD, you could do it with Sketch, but you can also do it with Figma. And in this case, the developers from Shopify, they used a UI kit for Figma. I mean, if you know anything about Adobe XD or Sketch, then you will get used to Figma pretty quickly. And I will just quickly show you how that is done. That is my Figma dashboard. But if you would Google, so I just put in Shopify Figma UI kit, and then you will see here Polaris for admin. And then you will come in here, and from here you can just duplicate this, all of those components to your projects if you're logged in. If not, then you will have to create an account for Figma, but that is for free anyways. So you can just come in here and duplicate it and put this to your admin. And if you have done that, then you can go into your project. And I've already set up an example page here, but I will just show you what those components will look like. For example, here you will have an action list, and you can just click this here, copy that, and put this to your layout somewhere here. Then you will have this list right here if you want to place it there. And you can get your layout, you can start building your layout very, very quickly, and that is such a great advantage. And that you will have over Bootstrap or Tailwind frameworks, that you can have those components here in Figma, you can lay them out, and then you can just start building that right away. And in my opinion, that is a great advantage. So you can come in here and just take a look at all of their components. They have all of their components that are also ready in Polaris as well. So you have all of those buttons, button groups, cards, and they also have it in mobile view and desktop view. So you can come in here, you have multiple sections. That's just a great way of building your app. And the learning curve is very, very flat. So you can just come in here, even if you don't know nothing about Figma at all. You can just come in here, copy a component, put it onto your page, and just start building just right away, just like that. And what I also really appreciate what they have done is, for example, that is a component right here. And let's say I want to have a filter, but I don't need 4 drop downs, I just need 3. Then I can come in here, go there, and just delete this filter drop down there, delete it. And as you can see, now this bar right here has expanded, and all of those drop downs here, they became shorter. And that is a really great way of building out those components, because other dashboard UI kits, they don't have that like that. For example, if I also want to rename my label right here, let's say I don't know, let's say social media account or something, whatever, you can see that those buttons right here, that they expand accordingly. That is such a great advantage. For example, let me compare this to another dashboard UI kit that I bought from ThemeForest, because I have to be honest, Polaris is not the best looking UI in the world. There are some better ones out there, and before I started with Polaris, I thought, all right, maybe I want to build a dashboard that's a little bit better looking, right? So I went to ThemeForest, bought this dashboard UI kit, and this is what I found, what I really liked. I mean, I do like the UI, and I might come back to it later. I'm not saying that I will not use this at all, but I started out and I just came in here. I wanted to say, instead of apps, I wanted this to say account. And now look at it. Look at the way this behaves. This is just, I don't know, this is just not fun building out a UI like that, because now I have to come in here and make this one a little bit smaller. Now this is not working that good, and I would have to move this. Now the whole thing moves, and all of that stuff is just annoying. It's just kind of annoying, building out a layout this way. Whereas with Polaris, everything it's just working, and it's just working well. And that is the great advantage. You can start building so quickly, and that's just what you as a developer, or also you as an entrepreneur, should always want. You should prefer to build a market ready app very, very quick. And that's what you can do with this Polaris front-end framework. All right, so that is that. And now let's go to my number one resource for Shopify app developers, and that is a blog from, I hope I will pronounce it correctly. I know I have a couple of Indian viewers, and please don't get mad at me, but I think it's Pritam Nath. And he's such an inspiring person, because he wrote this very, very long blog article on building micro SaaS. And you can come in here. I have the link on my blog as well. And he's talking about making money building Shopify micro SaaS apps, and this is just so inspiring, and you will learn a lot. He will also talk you or show you the process of, finding app ideas, also validating, but he will go very much into detail on how to validate if your app is any good. He also has an estimation tool on where you can kind of estimate on how much revenue your app or your idea might make. He has so many well thought out ideas on how to find a profitable niche or a profitable app, and he will show you many methods on just how to come up with an idea, and how to validate your idea. And if you just go through here, it's just such a long blog article, and almost every sentence in there is is gold. I cannot say it anyway, in another way. And just come in here, read through this article. It's so inspiring. And another very, very good thing that he has here on this website is this spreadsheet that he refers to, and this is really also very, very good for you. It's very, this way you can see how they actually came in here. You can see all of the ideas that they came up with, that Pritam and his team. I think he has a co-founder of his app, and you can see all of the ideas that they came up with, their ratings on their ideas. Then they have some comments on it, and you can just come in here, look at their spreadsheet. Maybe you came up with a similar idea, and then you can take a look if they had this idea as well, and then you can see their rating, and maybe you can see if they rated it well or not. And this is just, in my opinion, this is just an amazing spreadsheet. And you can also copy this spreadsheet, and you can edit it with your own ideas, and maybe you can take a look if your idea would fit in here, and you will just get some inspiration also for your app ideas. Maybe you don't know yet what you want to build, so you can come in here and just take a look. Maybe you will find something. Maybe you will find something that you can build yourself, or maybe you will see that the idea that you have might have been too big, or not possible for you to build by yourself, or whatever. It is just, I come back to the spreadsheet. I still come back to this spreadsheet even 1 year later, and just take a look at the way that they have did it. You will also see all of those factors that you will have to take into consideration if you want to build your app. For example, how many customers are there, what is the competition like, the acquisition tech effort, and all of that stuff that you might have not thought of before. But if you take a look at this spreadsheet, you still see some factors that you might want to take into consideration before building out an app, right? And yeah, as I said, all of the links you can find them here. I will put them into the description. And so that was my top 5 list on great resources for Shopify app developers, and I hope you could take something out of this. I hope you could get some inspiration or learn something out of this. And yeah, like always, please like and subscribe for more videos about Shopify app development or web development in general. And that'll do it for me, and see you next time. Bye bye.